So what happened after the release of Hatimaye, and then where do you go next from there?
So we released Hatimaye we actually released it twice. So we had this thing that we called a listening party, which was technically my first show ever as a solo artist. And that was at Allianz. I remember it was fascinating, it was sold out. And I remember Sarah, because Sarah and I were still really close. I remember Sarah coming backstage and telling me, there's a line around the corner. I'm like, what? There's a line around the corner. And those days, there was no MOOC, no ticket sasa.
Yes.
You carry your tickets in your hand. Then you go round to Yaya. You're like, okay, so I'm going to go to Yaya. So I just walk in. Hi, do you have tickets to my concert? And ask other guys to sell tickets. In fact, you'd be like, give guys 10, sell. And then we didn't do it. I don't know why we never thought about telling people to pay more at the door. So you knew you printed 300 tickets, you know you sold 200. So you're like, okay, so we're going to have at least 200 people, because you didn't know what was coming at the door. And because the first gig, I didn't know what to expect. And I remember I was dressed by Johari. That's when I was like, people get dressed? John is like, yes, we're going to get somebody to dress you. What?
So John is still your manager?
Yeah, he was the project manager, yeah. And we did that first show. And I think that's when I realized something that I'm really into now. I really like gigging. A lot of musicians don't like gigging. I really like gigging. When we're well rehearsed and I know what the song is going to be like, I really like gigging. So a lot of the songs were played for the first time, because the only song that was out at that point was Happy. And it was a whole 2-hour concert of 100% new songs. And then we even cut, there's some songs we played at the concert that didn't make it to the album.
What?
Because we cut them, we're like, this didn't work.
You saw the reaction of people?
This didn't work. This was fabulous. We even had a paper where people wrote, I like this. Chris scored so high. Song scored so high. And both Chris and Tim were in the band at that point. My BGVs were Monica, what you call Monica?
Yes, Obaga, yeah.
Karemi, now
Karemi, Yamaya.
Neema. I think it was the 3 of them. But I suspect there were 4. Now imagine the 4th one is just out there being like, she didn't remember the song for her.
And I have those photos.
What I know she wore white. I know they wore white.
And orange.
Yeah, they wore white and orange. And Kavuda was the MC. Because then I was so, and this is the thing people don't understand. I feel like I don't relate well to people, which is why people, the first time they meet me, they're like, she was so mean. I was not mean. I didn't know what to tell you, so I kept quiet. Okay? And I have RBF. RBF is?
No.
I have resting bitch face. When I'm just chilling, I look like that time in my head I'm thinking, Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse was fabulous. I should watch it again. Will Thanos actually kill the world? I wonder what Captain Marvel has to say about that. These are the thoughts I have generally as an individual with Marvel and Game of Thrones. So coming on stage and speaking was terrifying, and I couldn't do it. So I asked Kavuda, will you come and just be coming and talking? So she would come and talk and say things and make it a bit interactive. And it was so much fun. And everybody who had anything to do with me musically was there. Kanji sang, Aaron played, and it was a wonderful and glorious concert. And then that's when we realized, just put your own shoes together, let's just do it. Yeah, because even with Peter, he had never done it before, and we're like, okay, so this is how to get people to hear your music, how to get people to ask for you more. Just make it work for you, because at that point, a lot on the radio, people would say the music that they want to play is pop.
Yeah, and you guys were Afrofusion.
Did radio stations other than Capital, they play a Asha before? Because I found her on the internet, but I don't think I've ever had anybody play her except
even Capital. I think I can count the amount of time.
Yeah, so here is this new kind of music coming out, right, that Kenya hasn't necessarily seen anymore, hasn't embraced that much, and we don't know where to fit it on the airwaves. So let's just make our own gig and sing and have people come to the gig. So we started doing that, and we do gigs, and then after that it picked up. People did a lot of gigs. I want to say I came up with it, but Eric would invent his own gigs all the time. He'd be like, listen, we're about to leave, we're about to go on tour, let's do a gig, right? And with him it was, because the man, women think differently from women. They're like, let's just get it at the pavement, let's just put it on Facebook, and that's going to be it. Us, we're like, we need a stylist. And we need to know exactly where the BGVs are going to stand. We need dance styles. Well, Eric was very into dance styles, let me not lie. We used to have secret dance practice. Let's meet for dance practice. Then we'd have dance practice. In fact, sometimes I come to the gig, I'm like, you are still doing that dance. Wow.
Came up with it.
We came up with it together 10 years ago. So,
and let me ask, because again, what I'm telling you, I got to see you was from the Kanji side. Because I've just joined Kijiji.
So I just got to say, that's what had happened.
Oh yes, and I'm very confused because when you talk about your story right now, I'm like, Atemi was always saved. But me, when I met Atemi, it's like she had just got saved.
I heard. See, I'm telling you now, when we went to SIU, then I heard. That's what the ladies used to be told. I remember we went for this award ceremony. One time, Eric had just come back from the States. And our choice of clothing, we wore half tops and net skirt. Do you understand net skirt? It's a net skirt. You can see through everything. So you just wear panty inside. Net skirt, just net skirt. So I don't know if it was backsliding. It was just things that you didn't think, you kind of want to try stuff out. Yeah. I don't know if in every family there is one rebellious child. It was me. I wanted to know, what is disco? Where is carnival? I need to go to carnival, And I remember there's one point we lived at Nairobi Dam when I was in Form 4, and I could just hear the music from roof. And I'd be like, when will I go to the carnival? And my mom would tell me, you go to that carnival, you'll be so tired, you'll hate it. Now to tell me, let's go out, I'm like, what? See, let me see, I'll be in my house.
Serious?
Not coming. I couldn't believe it. She was like, the day you start going, it will go. And then one day, this thing will be so tiring to you, you won't be able to do it. And I was like, never, you're lying. I love it. She also told me that the way you hate ugali now, you love it. I'll never know. I'm like, nipikie ugali. Please, tengeneza, ongeza butter. I'm like, butter, weka butter kwa ugu. Ukipika sasa ukimaliza, weka tu butter kidogo alafu ufunika. Sawa. Ama weka cream.
Tell me. So, Domestics, that song, who wrote it? How did it come up? Did you guys play? So at this time when you're coming back to Kijiji, it's because you've just gotten saved? Or you've come...
Let me diss my boy. Kanji is a choleric and a serious choleric, right? We've known each other since the days of Baptist.
Yeah.
I even think our parents were family friends. Yeah. Kanji had no interest in me until I got saved. So I used to find him this interesting scatterbrain guy. And I'd be like, this guy is just never... And I didn't realize, no, he's not paying attention to you because he doesn't have any use for you. Then I got saved and I was like, this is a guy who can focus and have deep conversations. I was like, oh, okay, all right. So I think at that point, I don't even think I had decided to leave TED. I think as I started working with, it's like every producer is your boyfriend. As I started working more with Tim, I just started seeing Ted less. And then it got to the point where I wasn't seeing him at all. And then when I came to Pine Creek, I think Peter and Ted were not friends. So Peter was like, no, we're not doing any songs with him. But no, that's not happening. So I was like, well, I didn't like the songs anyway, so what? So I don't think it was and I'm never coming back. Yes. I think we kind of just drifted. And then I know he got into politics a lot and then he left. But I just know that Mavuno days, I know that there were Eric days, and during Eric days I used to see Ted a lot, and then Eric days became more intense and I stopped seeing Ted that much and I started seeing Tim, and then I didn't go to see Ted that often anymore. I do know when he got married we were very close friends still. Okay. Yes, I remember that. And then we kind of just drifted apart. That's just the truth. And then as I came to, so by the time I came to Kijiji, I don't think I was seeing Ted at all. And then Kanji was like, hey, we have this song. They wrote it with Aaron.
All right, so fellas, how many times, man, are we just gonna be letting all these ladies, man, just confuse us, abuse us? Man, they've been trying to use us. Man, I think I'm sick and tired, man. Now listen, this is my story, man. And my story is history. This is how it has been from time immemorial, man. And it's time this thing stop, man. It's time it stop. Man. Okay, listen, y'all. Yeah. Naingia nyumbani, chakula baridi. Napata umefura kama mandazi, ukitazama TV. See Austin slap Carrie on Days of Our Lives. Now you're too mad to eat. Say you want some quality time. You want to feel like you are mine. You want me to know your heart and mind, baby. Then you make me wait for 2 hours while you wash and set your hair. You say yes, you say no. You say no, when you mean wait. You say yes, you say no. You say no, when you mean wait. You just never understand, no matter what I say. You spend more time watching.
Like, this song we wrote, and we were just wondering, how to do it. And one of the things I really like is I like surprises on stage. I love them.
Yeah.
So the first time we sang domestic on stage and Kanji went into And You Wonder Why It's Over, I was like, what is this? It was like the funniest thing. Because I'm on stage entertaining people and here you entertaining me.
Yeah.
I really like those things. And I think that when Chris was my band leader, I think he understood that more than anybody else. Sometimes I'll get on stage, like there's this part we play if you come to the gig in Happy. After the first verse, when we get to the pre-chorus,
You go Beyonce?
No, we go to, he goes to swing. Oh. The first time was like, oh my God, this is wonderful, I can't believe it's happening, swing! So we still do it, but the first time they did it on stage, I had no idea.
If you could give me a minute or two, we'll see it there, we'll see the check on me, I know I'd follow you. Tell me yako, urembo wako, believe me, I know, you will always be a part of me. Swing y'all, let's swing. It's plain to see without you, I could never leave. Won't you hold my hand and stick with me? Please don't go.
Okay.
There's the season where Chris changed the harmonies of Nairobi and it was like, oh my God, what? Do it again. I love it.
Okay.
Kimeto, I hope you're watching. Start bringing surprises.
Okay, so after Hatimaye, I mean, there's still so much in your story. There's Nameless, there's the song with Calligraph, there's a whole
You can see those came up. Let me tell you, the only thing that can make a woman change her mind about the direction of music, you know what that is? A man.